plan. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are probably thinking. Why the hell is Mac making a video on Apoo? Like, this, out of all characters, you choose to make a video out of Apoo. And I'm telling you guys right now, when it comes to Scratchman, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. He's one of my top 5 favorite supernovas. As soon as I saw his character, how hilarious he was, I always loved the character. Now, I definitely feel like in the new world, he has been getting a bad rep, though I do think that he's gonna come out with some greatness. And a lot of people, they put Scratchmen Apoo as probably one of the weakest supernova. He's whack, he's weak, he sucks. They love all the other supernovas more than Scratchman. But it's funny because me personally, I have the opposite feeling. Yo, check it out. Yo, this man is greatness, and I gotta do a whole video on him because he definitely is very important. Now, it was amazing when we first saw Apoo's intro. It was versus Eustace Kid, and I gotta say, that's a great intro because we all see Eustace Kid, or most of us, a lot of people have been hating Eustace Kid, but most of us see Eustace Kid as the rival towards Luffy. We see moments where Luffy and Eustace Kid talking about the One Piece and who's gonna take the lead of the era. But I do want to say this: he was going against a kid in his introduction. He was not shook, and he was like, yo, let's take this in the new world. Yo, this is why are we doing it over here? Yo, let's wait till the new world. So Apoo, his intro was amazing. I definitely loved it, and at that moment I'm like, yo, this guy might be legit. Now, his bounty, when it was first revealed on Sabaody, yes, this is the arc where all the supernovas bounties were revealed, and he was number 6 amongst all 11 supernovas at the arc. Now, number 6 is kind of like a midway, he's pretty much midway or second bottom half, though I do want to say this: the top 5 highest bounties on Sabaody were Eustace Kid, Luffy, I believe after Eustace Kid, Luffy, I believe it was Basil Hawkins, X, Drake, and Law. That's what the order of the bounty was. And if we didn't really notice, Shaki did mention the 5: Kid, Luffy, Law, X, Drake, and Hawkins. And Brownbeard mentioned the same 5, talking about Kid, Basil Hawkins, X, Drake, Law. But he didn't really mention Luffy because Luffy was chilling during the whole New World time skip, everything. So these 5 major 5 characters are always grouped amongst together twice. Now, it leaves out one character, Scratchmen Apoo. He's kind of like the 6th, and you notice his bounty was the 6th highest. It's very interesting. I feel like there might be a reason. If you think about it, pre-time skip, his bounty is only 2 million less than Law. So I definitely feel like Apoo has some sort of important role, though he is not grouped with the major 5 supernovas that are usually grouped together. Now, I think the most infamous moment for Scratchmen Apoo is the battle versus Kizaru. And a lot of people think he's crazy for even doing this, and I feel like I was shocked when he did this because he was waiting around. I thought he was just gonna wait around, see how Kizaru's power was, because he was talking earlier than the actual fight. He was saying, let's just stick around. I really want to see how an admiral is. And he knows how strong Kizaru was. He knows Kizaru is way powerful than him, because as soon as he attacks Kizaru, he bounces, he leaves, he runs away, because he's like, okay, this is an admiral. I definitely can't take out an admiral. He knows. So Scratchman Apoo is not an idiot, but he is kind of sometimes brash, and that moment, he did not understand how fast Kizaru was. He speed blitzed Scratchman Apoo, and Scratchman Apoo was pretty fast because he was jumping from building to building like he was Spider-Man, and out of nowhere, 1 second, boom, Kizaru comes out of nowhere and kicks his face to the ground through buildings. Now, Scratchman Apoo was holding his head after that. He was bleeding a bit, but he was not dead, so that was a crazy attack that Kizaru gave to him. Scratchman Apoo, he was alive, but he actually suffered some head aching attack. But still, we gotta respect Scratchman Apoo because he cut Kizaru in half, and I personally feel like he did the best against Kizaru other than Rayleigh at Sabaody. You gotta get some respect for Scratchman Apoo. Now, we do know Kizaru was a Logia, so it didn't really matter, but it made us think, what if the character wasn't a Logia, man? Scratchman Apoo's power seems kind of hacked, and it's kind of cool and unique. Music. A lot of people love music in this world, and his power has to do with music, and I feel like it's a very unique Devil Fruit power. We don't know the name of it, but it's like, come on, who would have think that his power would be music instruments? He's turning his arm into a saxophone. He's doing some crazy stuff. His teeth are a piano. His chest is a drum, and I'm like, check it. Like he's even beatboxing, and he's doing some bar. He has some bars too. Yo, he's rapping at Kizaru. This guy, if he was in the real world, yo, he would be bigger than Drizzy Drake. I'm telling you guys right now, yo, he would be bigger than him. And the Scratchman Apoo, he's up there right now. His instruments. Yo, I love what he was doing there. Check it out. Now I have to apologize for what I just did there. A lot of people probably cringing. A lot of people kind of angry with that I did that whole impersonation. But let's continue this video. So, Brooke, yes, I have to talk about Brooke because there's a huge theory going on in the community that Scratchmen Apoo and Brooke are going to fight in the future. Now, I definitely have been negative towards this theory, and I've been positive towards this theory, but recently thinking about it, I'm back on the ship of thinking this theory might happen. Because think about it, Brooke during the time skip was hanging around a long arm tribe island, and the people he was hanging around, the managers, were long arm people. Now that just makes me think, why is these long arms and Brooke so connected? And then I look at the other character that has music involved with his power, Scratchmen Apoo, is a long arm. So I put two and two together, and I think that Brooke and Apoo will fight. I think Oda's actually foreshadowing this during the Brooke's time skip stay. There might be more to it. Brooke might have met the king of the long arm tribe, and maybe he's like the father to Apoo. Who knows? Apoo's flashback is probably going to be revealed quickly, but I do feel like there's going to be some interesting stuff there. Now, if Apoo and Brooke do fight, it has to be end of story. I don't care if people saying they're going to fight in like soon, Kaido. No, it has to be end of story because Apoo is way stronger than Brooke right now. Apoo is one of the supernovas, and Brooke is a mid-tier on the Straw Hat Pirate crew. He's not even one of the monster trios. So definitely right now there's a huge gap in power, but at the end of the story, Luffy's going to be the Pirate King, and the Pirate King's crew is going to be crazy. Zoro, I think end of story is going to be Yonko level. I think Sanji's going to be around, maybe close to Yonko level, around Admiral level. A lot of people debate on that. And I definitely feel like the mid-tier Straw Hat Pirates are going to be top Yonko Commander level when it's end of story, because their crew is the Pirate King. It's going to be a unique crew. So you scratch him in Apoo. How strong will he be end of story? I think he probably will be around the Yonko Commander level and maybe right-hand Yonko Commander level. I do not think he'll be Yonko level, but I definitely feel like he'll be around that level of maybe like Jozu level. So Brooke and Apoo fighting at end of story, it makes sense to me. That's when I feel like they'll be the same level, and I feel like that's where I will respect a crazy musical instrument battle at the end of story, yo. Yeah! Okay, now that's the second time I did some weird stuff in this video. You guys probably think I'm trolling, but I'm not really trolling, man. I don't know what it is, yo. I'm talking about Scratchmen Apoo, man. Whenever I think about Scratchmen Apoo, I just think about music and singing and crazy stuff. But let's get back on track with this video. Marineford, a very interesting moment. Yes, you saw how my voice changed. I'm serious now. Law saved Luffy, and all the supernovas were waiting outside of Marineford because Useless Kid talking about how it's the time of everyone to make their move. All the other characters talking about, wow, this is crazy events. But then Scratchmen Apoo says something that's very weird. He says, why is Law saving Luffy? He's the only character to mention that. Very interesting stuff. Yo, Scratchmen Apoo was very suspicious of Law and why he was saving Luffy, and I feel like that's going to come into play during the Wano arc or the Kaido arc, because we know what Apoo is doing in the Wano arc, and we know that Law and Luffy are going to be major players in the Wano arc. So these three characters, is going to come into play why Apoo is so interested. And Apoo is a smart, cunning character. He does some brash things sometimes and goes a little too crazy and looks kind of dumb, but in my opinion, Apoo is kind of smart. He kind of seems cunning, from my personal opinion on the character. Now, a huge moment, okay, not really a huge moment, but a moment in which a lot of people like to discredit Apoo's power level was when Apoo was running away from the boars when he went into the New World. And I feel like this not really discredits Apoo's power, because think about it like this. First of all, those are New World animals. New World animals are very powerful. Look at Luffy when he was on the time skip island. I think it was Raiskuna. I'm not too sure the name what it was, but he had to fight all those animals, and they were definitely next level, different from any other animal Luffy has faced. Now, New World animals are fucking, they're legit, yo. They're legit. And I feel like the fact that Apoo defeated one and then ran away, I give him respect for that. And let's be honest here, it's pre-time skip Apoo. Like, do you think pre-time skip Apoo can defeat all those New World boars? I think a post-time skip would have done it, but a pre-time skip Apoo was too weak, and he was just gaining experience in the New World. He's trying to get stronger. So I don't think this discredits Apoo, but it was a very comical moment. They were running on air, and their name is the On-Air Pirates. So what was that whole situation there? It was very spooky. They're they're running on air and their name is the On-Air Pirates. Very, very spooky. Now, I'm going to talk about the manga real quick. So I think you would mute this part of the video, and as the picture changes to another point, that's when I'll probably just put a spoiler, to be honest. I'll put a spoiler warning. I gotta be respectful. I'm kind of lazy sometimes. I don't really want to put the spoiler warning, but I know I gotta respect the anime only, so mute the video now. Mute the video. Let's talk about it. Apoo versus the Sweet Commander. Yes, I'm talking about Apoo versus the Sweet Commander on Big Mom's crew, and I'm not too sure if it was actually clarified what Sweet Commander Apoo fought, but I do know Apoo was driven out. Now, I personally feel like Apoo was driven out maybe 3 months, 4 months after pre-time skip, so I don't think it was a post-time skip Apoo that got driven out, though that's just my speculation and a prediction, because if you think about it, Eustace Kid, Apoo, Capone, and Aruja was the way they went, so I definitely feel like Apoo was a pre-time skip Apoo level he was closer to a pre-time skip level than a post-time skip level, so it doesn't really make me, oh my gosh, Apoo got driven out. It wasn't a huge thing, because, and let's be honest here, it's a Yonko's territory. Well, what can you think Apoo and his crew can do something? His crew is kind of fodder if you think about it. Now, there was another moment I want to talk about post time skip. It's the whole alliance moment. It was a pretty hilarious moment, but it was also a very interesting moment. Is when Apoo comes in there and he's like, "Yo, I was just checking to see if you have snipers." He's taking out Eustace Kid's pirate crew, and the kid is so angry. It was a very funny moment, and Killer had to be the voice of reason. Though I do think this is a very pivotal moment, because this alliance of Eustace Kid, Basil Hawkins, and Scratchmen Apoo, I definitely feel like this was a very powerful alliance, and they really want to get to the level of top tiers, They want to dominate the new world, as these three are major players when it comes to the worst generation. So I feel like it was a very interesting, and it's kind of parallel to Luffy and Law's alliance. So I feel like the fact that these all are most likely going to meet up in Wano, some very interesting stuff is going to happen, and these guys seem to be like one of the most major players when it comes to the worst generation. Now, a small little tidbit information that I thought was kind of interesting was Apoo's new bounty actually surpassed Hawkins. Yeah, very interesting. Scratchmen Apoo's bounty, I believe, was like 350, and Hawkins was around like 300. Don't quote me on that, maybe 320. So he did surpass Hawkins' bounty, which I think it probably has to do with something really major he did in the new world. Though I think that it might not be one major incident, just multiple incidents stacking up against Apoo that made him like, okay, give him this much of a bounty. So he did pass Hawkins' bounty, but we don't really not know all the Supernova's bounties to compare Apoo to everyone else. So definitely interesting stuff. They're just interesting, a little bit of a tidbit information I thought was kind of cool. Now, I think we all were waiting for me to talk about this. Scratchmen Apoo is now under Kaido-san, the Yonko, and this was a very crazy twist because we didn't expect this. I remember the episode in the chapter when it came out, we were all shook. The betrayal of the alliance. Now, did Apoo betray Eustace Kid and Basil Hawkins? I'm not too sure if he did or not. I know people are most likely assuming that, but I want to get all the facts. I just don't want to make an assumption, because I know Oda likes to break our ankles and make us think one thing and then out of nowhere we're wrong. So we do not know what happened. It could be a situation where Apoo was just like, they all got defeated, and Kaido's like, you want to join my crew? And Apoo's like, yes, and Kid is like, no. It could be a situation of that, although it's most likely looking like Apoo during the fight against Kaido probably backed out because he was smart enough, and Eustace Kid was a brave character who wants to become the Pirate King, so he actually fought Kaido and got destroyed. That's what I'm assuming right now. And I'll be honest here, it's a smart move, yo. Sometimes you don't have to be the bravest. Like, being smart is actually better for your situation, a personal situation. Now, it's not respectable for a lot of people, but if you want to make it out and continue to survive, you got to be smart, you got to be cunning, and you got to know when to take an L. And I think Apoo probably knew that, and that's why he was under Kaido, though I do not think that he's done yet. I don't think Apoo is done yet. I think the fact that he's under Kaido is all into a huge plan that he's making up so he can actually get out of it with a W. So I feel like Apoo is actually about to do some spooky things in the new world, and he's not done yet. In the Kaido War arc, or the Wano arc, Kaido's gonna have one after one after one, and crazy stuff's gonna happen, and stuff is gonna happen to make his whole situation look bad. He's gonna be angry. I could see X Drake, another supernova from the pre-time skip at Worst Generation member, actually surprising Kaido and going against him, rebelling. And we know that Eustace Kid, Law, Luffy, Zoro, Killer, Basil Hawk. There's gonna be a lot of major Worst Generation players that do crazy stuff to probably go against Kaido. So I think that Apoo being the only one maybe loyal to Kaido out of nowhere will make have a sick plan in which he actually rebels and goes against Kaido. And I think it will almost work because Apoo's power is so hacked that I feel like it kind of like how Law's power had the Gamma Knife. I think Apoo's gonna have something that's equal to that, not at the same level, I'm not too sure, but he's gonna try to do something where we saw what he did to Kizaru. That surprised us all. So what if he tries something to actually take out Kaido himself and fails, even though Kaido was like, oh, you almost got me there, or something like that. Something very tricky. Not really about strength, more about his delve root ability. Maybe it's awakening, who knows. But I feel like Apoo and Capone, these two, I remember when Capone, yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but Capone, he's under Big Mom, and a lot of people have been speculating that he might do something to go against Big Mom. You know, the whole situation of Peckham's and what Peckham said, so don't underestimate Big Mom. So I think Apoo might be in the same situation, and he's gonna try to go against Yonko Hakujudo Kaido. Now tell me your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about Scratchmen Apoo and his character? Do you think I'm just looking too much into it? Do you think I'm overhyping Apoo? Or do you think he's just trash? He betrayed Yusa's kid. He's not that strong, and he's just a Kaido lackey, and he has no really huge part into the story. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section, because I definitely love Apoo as a character. Most people don't, but I do. Yo, he's hilarious.